Hey Insider, I wanted to quickly answer this question I've been asked from so many of you over on Instagram, Facebook, email, you name it. And especially when I'm speaking on stages all around the world, I get a lot of people putting their hands up and asking, what's the best life advice you've ever received? The best one, out of all of the life advice I've gotten from all of the successful people I've been to hang around with, it's definitely this one thing. And before I reveal this one best advice, it's important that you understand what was happening at that time and why it's so relevant to you. This is the one thing I find is holding back so many people. Now, I was working a 9-to-5 job about 4 to 5 plus years ago. And during that period, I had a lot of side business and so forth. But it was getting to that point where I wanted to really start sharing my message online. Now, being an introvert with somebody who comes from a very much social anxiety background, putting myself out there, especially on camera, was one of my biggest fears. So you can imagine I didn't take action for a long time. I dreamt about it. I was walking to work, always wondering what if I could do it, but never pulled the trigger. I was always holding back. And it was just this one occurrence when it was getting quite late and I'd stayed overtime because I was always just somebody who loved to just contribute and just over deliver, even to my boss back then. And I remember it was really dark outside and it was just me and my boss who was left in the office just working still. And I turned to my boss and said, what's the best advice that's really served you well in your lifetime? And he turned around and said, Tim, I think you already know the answer. And I said, what do you mean? Well, think about it. How would you describe me, Tim? And I turned around and said, you're quite crazy. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, I've never actually met somebody like you. Because just the other day, you ended up literally coming into the office and you said you randomly thought of an idea while in the shower, and instead of thinking about it, you'd already booked me the flight tickets and you said I'll be flying over to Philippines to spend time with farmers and we'll be launching this big chocolate project. And I said, I've never met somebody like you who can just take action so fast. It's almost like insanity. He said, Tim, as you know, I don't come from a lot of wealth in my life. I've had to make this happen for myself. And the only reason why I've been able to do this is because I adopted this belief. This one piece of advice that he shared to me in that moment is the thing that's totally transformed my life. This is what's allowed me to live a life of freedom and abundance that I live today and serve the world, impact the world, travel around the world with my family. It's just incredible how powerful this advice is. Listen very closely inside it. He turned around to me and said, the philosophy I live by is ready, fire, aim. The moment I heard that, I had to just look up for a moment because I'm just like, what does that really mean? Isn't it meant to be ready, aim, fire? He said, Tim, and he had a very serious look on his face. He said, Tim, that's why people remain broke. They ready and they aim and aim and aim and aim and aim, and they never get into the game. The fastest way to be successful in business, Tim, is to be in business. Because plans never truly go as a plan, Tim. You got to actually get in the game and pivot as you go along. So ready, fire, execute the plan. Then you pivot along the way until eventually you get to success. So if you were to ask me inside it, what's the one piece of advice that's totally transformed my life? This is it. It sounds so simple, and it might be a reminder for you because I preach this a lot, ready, fire, aim. But there are so many of you tuning in right now with greatness within you, but you never take action. And you know who you are. You've got the gift that life's given you. The problem is you keep on thinking that there's tomorrow. Research is sometimes procrastination in disguise. Perfectionism is procrastination in disguise. You got to be willing to get started. Even if your hands are trembling, get started. First video I filmed once I adopted this belief of ready, fire, aim, my hands were shaking. I was just pacing up and down. It took me 4 hours to record a 4-minute video. That was my first video. But guess what? I continued until eventually people were asking me, Tim, how did you do it? Can you become a mentor? Can you become a coach? And I got invited to meet the president, got invited to speak at TEDx and so forth. It happened because I ready, fire, aim. That's what I invite you to do today. Ready, fire, aim. Stop chasing perfectionism. Just get in the game. Done is better than perfect. That's the best advice Insider I've ever received in my life. And if you'd like to join us on the challenge where we'll be ready, firing, aiming, and improving our communication skills together, be sure to go to this URL here, speakingchallenge.com. It'd be absolutely amazing to have you part of our community, because when we're together, it's so much easier to get that momentum and ready, fire, aim. And we'll be improving our communication skills and speaking skills together, as that way you'll be able to own your message and share it with the world and be able to make more impact and so forth. You can also follow the card above Insider, or I'll put a link in the comments box below, depending on which platform you're checking out this video. Anyhow, as you go off today, ready, fire, aim is my message to you. Get in the game. Get in the game. As always, follow your heart and take action and go live the life you're truly born to live. Speak to you very soon, Insider. Take care.